opinion is Hey Joe by Jimi Hendrix. It's certainly one of Jimi's easier solos to play. It's got a real authentic feel to it, though, so it's not all, just eighths and sixteenths. It's got a real kind of flow to it, so you got to get used to that a little bit. But let's first just break down a little bit of what's going on in the rhythm. I don't want to spend too much time with that, but I would like to give you the basic idea. So the first lick you've got here is this. What's happening there is you're going to play the 3rd fret of the 2nd string. You're going to hit the 5th fret with a hammer on. Then you're going to go back to that 3. And while you're doing that, you're going to pluck the 1st string along with it. Then you're going to play the 4 on the 3rd string, and you're going to slide back. And then I do a pull-off. And then you go to the 2 on the 4th string. So I'm going... And that in itself is kind of fun to play, but not the solo, really. And then you're going to pluck the E, so you have... And then what I do is I just strum the E chord afterwards. Then I'm going to go up to the 5th fret of the 5th and 4th strings. And play 2 5s, 1 4, and then 1 2, using those 2 strings both times. Okay, then I'm going to go up to this, and then I start the song. So there I'm playing 7 and 9, and then 7 on the 3rd string. Okay, so let me just play it real quick for you. I don't want to waste too much time on this. Okay, then it goes into the main structure of the song, which is really just C major, G major, D major, A major, E major. And that's the chord progression for the entire song. They're all major chords, and we're going to come back to that for a second when we talk about the solo. Then you've got these little fills. And... Now, I'm not sure that there's an exact science to when Jimi plays them. I hear him in certain places, but I think if you probably listen to, 4 different live versions of this, Jimi's probably doing all kinds of things. But basically, you're going to play that chord progression. You're going to come off that and go into your... right there. I'm playing 2 on the 5th string, going to 0 on the 4th string. And then I'm doing that twice, and then I'm going to the 2 on the 4th string. Okay. Now, if you'd rather, you could play it up here, the exact same thing, right up there, and you'd be playing 7 5 7 5, and then 7, which always reminds me of "Whole Lotta Love" by Led Zeppelin. Same idea. So you can play it in either place, whatever's most comfortable to you, and that's the one thing you have to always remember about all of this learning other people's song stuff, is that your success isn't determined on whether or not you play something exactly the absolute 1,000,000% correct way that an artist played it, because the artist doesn't even play it the same way every time. They play it all over the place doing all kinds of stuff. So we have to get an idea of what works best for us. What chords do we want to use, right? Do we want to use open chords or power chords or what? And don't sweat it. If you decide to change something from what I'm doing, don't worry about it. Make it comfortable for you to play, and also comfortable for you to memorize, right? So if I'm playing... Here goes my lick. Up there's just fine. Sometimes I do that with a little hammer on there. Like that. Okay, now the next lick is the exact same thing, but you hear a new note. Right there, what I'm playing is 2 on the 5th, 0 on the 4th, 2 on the 5th, 0 on the 3rd. That's the new note. And then back to the 2 on the 4th string. So I have... And if I play it up there, I'm going 7, 5, 7, 5 on the 4th string. That's the new note. And again, whichever place you'd rather play it, okay? Now that's primarily the structure of the song. C, G, D, A, and E, all major chords. Okay, there is one little thing right after the solo that does this. Which is pretty cool. So again, it's playing C, G, D, A, and E, but Jimi's connecting them together with chromatics movements, notes that are chromatic, right? So he's playing C on the fifth string, which is the third fret, and then you're going to play 0, 1, 2, 3 on the sixth string. And what's that note? It's G. There's your G chord. So it's going C, G, and he's playing, and then he plays 2, 3, 4, 5 on the fifth string, and then 2, 3, 4, 5 on the sixth string. Why is that working? Because you're going, that note right there is D, that note right there is A, so he's still playing the chord progression, he's just playing a cool little segment instead of playing the chords. With 4, 5, 6, and he wants to go to 7, but instead of going to the 7, which is E, you just hit that 6th string and head back. So it sounds like this. And we can go into one of those licks again. Okay? So that situates us with what's happening with the rhythm of this song for the most part. Now, ironically, the song is using 5 different major chords, C, G, D, A, and E. Now, in music theory, there's no such thing as getting 5 major chords in a key. That doesn't exist. So, for me, Jimi's not really thinking about this in terms of like music theory or something. He's doing what I always call the theory of rock and roll, which is if it sounds good, you do it. And here's the second part to that. If we think about it, if we were going to summarize all these chords and think, okay, well, what key are we really in? It seems like we're in E because we spend more time on the E chord. Now, it's not E minor. It's not that sound. It's E major. Okay? When Jimi goes to solo over the top of this, he uses minor pentatonic, which, again, theoretically doesn't really make any sense, but in the rock and roll world, it makes perfect sense. Because using that minor pentatonic over a major chord progression sounds very rock and roll, sounds very bluesy.